the professional football level. It's a challenge at the college level, and it's even a challenge at the high school level now with all these guys. And you're exactly right. With social media, with Twitter, heck, I had more people texting me this morning. I heard this player, that player's transferring from your team, and I'm just trying to watch the 1st and 10 film on Tennessee Tech and get ready for those guys. And so to me, I can only imagine if I'm going through that, what our players are going through right there. So it's just a matter of educating the guys and about preaching to them, and we're only allowed a certain number of hours with them. During the day when they're not with us, they should be taking care of their academics. They should be taking care of, at this stage of the year, certainly eating properly, getting their rest and things like that. But there's certain things we can't control. But it's just re-emphasizing that point week after week after week. Go 1-0 this week. It's about ignoring the noise. It's about doing your job.
Is the lack of experience on the back end there making you have to try to create more havoc, bring more pressure up front?
I like to bring more pressure anyway. I mean, honestly, I felt like this game, my wife didn't go to the game, but she watched. She said, that looked more like what I think of when I think of your defenses. Early on we were bringing some pretty good pressure, and a couple teams did some things to negate that, but we got back and I thought we're much, much more aggressive this week. We had a lot of tackles for loss. We had 6 sacks. Probably could have had 7 or 8 sacks, really. I mean, we missed the quarterback a couple times out there. But I felt pretty good calling the game. The 2 big plays are still going to bother me a little bit. The long run where we had some chances to make a tackle, they ended up getting a field goal on that drive, and then the touchdown pass. And to be that close in that situation is what it is. And I'm usually pretty good by the end of Sunday, early Monday. I put that one behind me and move forward. So I think we improved this week, and that was something that was really, really exciting to me. We got Kirkland back. We still had a couple guys out. Now we got to get those guys back, and we got to hit it for the stretch run here.
With no Malik, do you feel like you're kind of searching there on that cornerback spot, opposite of Emmanuel? Tried a couple guys, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, Emmanuel had a challenging game. He made some good. He did a really good job in run support on some cracker placements and things like that. And there's some 50-50 balls that he's going to watch his technique and fundamentals. And Willie does a great job with him that we've got to come up with. And we worked Justin, and we had Balin on the other side. I mean, those guys are practicing hard. They're working hard. Marquell Osborne made a big play as a nickel on a 3rd down stop right there, so that was positive. So those are the guys who are going to play. Malik's doing everything he can to get back, and hopefully in a couple of weeks we can get 23 back as well and see what happens.
Coach Jones talked about the leadership issue. With the captains having 3 of them, and especially the 2 on defense that are still they're acting like captains, but they're not able to play. Is there something that he said the leaderships need to step up? Is that deficit harder when they're not on the field actually playing in terms of the energy and enthusiasm? Can you only do so much from the sideline?
I think so. I mean, as hard as they're trying to work, I mean, everybody, Cam, it's hard for Cam to lead, when Cam's trying to also rehab himself to get himself back in position to get back on the field. And then Jalen to be re-injured again and go through what he's gone through has been challenging for him. So I think it's hard to lead the others when at some point you're focused on getting yourself healthy. But they've done everything they can. I watched Jalen work with the young linebackers out there, whether it's working with Daniel Batuli or helping Colton this week as he moved to will linebacker, or working with Cortez or whatnot. And Cam, in every DB meeting has something to say about someone's technique, or recognizing the split here, or recognizing this formational tendency there. I think they're doing the best they can. I think as frustrated as we are, I'm sure they're frustrated. And as I always say, I've seen the good and the bad in this profession. These kids only have one opportunity to be seniors, to have Team 120. I feel for those guys, for all the injured guys, for Shai, for Khalil, for DK, who missed as much time as he did, for Corte, for Micah, who's missed now a couple games, right down the line to Cam and Jalen. I mean, those guys worked hard to have the type of year that they want to have, and we still have a long way to go. There's still a lot of football left to be played. There's still a lot of good things that can happen for Team 120. And like I said, the most important thing we can do is just ignore the noise, do your job, and come out and have the best Monday practice we can.
Bob, can Mark Quill play outside at all?
Yeah, he practices out there all the time. And, again, you're asking the same question. It's the same question that I'd answer with him the same way I'd probably answer about Nigel. They both have a great skill set, and they're going to be great players. I think sometimes when you play those young guys out on the perimeter, it's challenging to those guys, and that's why I think Balin's done a pretty good job. For the most part, he's a pretty mature kid. He doesn't make a whole lot of mental mistakes. He has a good idea. He has a good grasp of the defense. I think eventually, with the spring, Nigel and Marquell, they're going to be stars in this league eventually.
2 more.
You got pressure with the secondary guys. TK got there once, and then Justin basically got there about the same time Derek did on his one sack. Was that something that you saw, or I know you tried to do that at different points, but is that something South Carolina specifically gave you that you're able to bring that? Or?
No, yes and no. I mean, it was in the plan this week to go after the young quarterback for sure. My identity is to try to come after you as many times as I can. I mean, we've blitzed a lot. I thought Rashawn Golden blitzed really well. I thought Kirkland blitzed well. I thought he made a couple plays in the backfield. I thought you're right, Justin Martin on the one corner blitzed well. TK on the safety blitz. That was one we hadn't done a whole lot. But when we see an opportunity, we like to act swiftly, decisively, and I always say with violence of action. So see what happens.
Bob, it seemed like a few times you guys maybe play with some cushion on the corners. Is that a concern because the ball keeps getting thrown over your head and teams keep taking downfield shots, or is?
Yeah, no. There were a couple plays where I didn't think we had enough. We always talk about challenging the routes. I mean, you watch the game today. I mean, a significant portion of the game is the 50-50 balls. You watch, last Thursday you watched the Pitt Virginia Tech game. It just became one-on-one out on the perimeter with Evans throwing lob balls up there, and you got to win those battles. And those, if you're calling 50-50 battles, you got to win 50% of the time, and that's something we need to do. And to me, the worst thing in defensive backfield play is not enough cushion. Ball gets thrown over your head. Second worst thing is too much cushion. So now you get a really good athlete in the open field getting to turn his shoulders up and make plays. So that was not by design, and that was we had a little too much cushion on a couple of those.
That's good. Thanks, Bob.